Tonight we're tracking new developments in the mysterious death of Phoenix Police Sergeant Sean Drenth. Police are telling ABC 15 they're just days away now from releasing investigative reports about his death.
And those documents could come as early as this Friday. But as ABC 15 investigator Lori Jane Gliha found out, Drenth's death is among dozens still unsolved for months at the county medical examiner's office.
There's no suspect information. There's no vehicle information.
Do we have police officers who we are looking at as leads in this case right now? Yes, we do.
The last thing you want to do is jump to conclusions.
I try to picture what could have happened, why did it happen.
It's a twisted, unsolved mystery.
I still at times don't believe it.
A murder investigation that may not even involve murder.
A suicide that is staged to be or made to look like a homicide. A homicide that has been staged to be a suicide. Or we have a homicide that we can't figure out exactly why or how things ended up how they ended up.
An uncracked case with few concrete clues. And the decorated police sergeant at the center of it all, Sean Drenth, left behind loved ones waiting and wondering what happened last October in the moments before he was shot to death with his own gun. Who pulled the trigger?
Until I have all the answers of what happened, I'm not going to be able to finish mourning. I'm not going to be able to put this to rest. Every picture I have of him, he's smiling, he's happy.
Dawn Drenth is Sean Drenth's cousin.
Every single day I think about him, and I cry almost every single day.
She says he was like a second brother growing up, and tells me he wanted to become a cop so he could help others.
He was so kind-hearted, he was so loving, he was so funny.
Memories of her fallen cousin fill her heart, but an emptiness still lingers.
I want answers. My family wants answers.
For 6 months, we've been asking for answers. Forensic experts already examined Sean Drenth's body. It's no longer here at the Maricopa County Medical Examiner's office. And the goal here is to complete most cases within 90 days. But now, more than 190 days after Drenth's death, his case here is still considered open and pending.
The county refused our open records request for Drenth's autopsy and toxicology reports while the case is still open, and no one from the office would agree to an interview, saying the county medical examiners don't have time.
As a medical examiner, we can only do so much.
So the ABC 15 investigators asked forensic pathologist Philip Keene to explain why it might take so long to determine how someone died. He says wounds in a homicide case can look a lot like a suicide.
We are dependent upon the police. We are dependent upon eyewitnesses to a certain extent because they're the ones that are going to be telling police their stories. But we check those stories for accuracy based upon the tangible facts.
Phoenix police told us they asked the medical examiner not to make a decision on the manner of Drenth's death, whether it was a homicide or a suicide, until the police finish processing evidence. And his is not the only case left unsolved. As of late March, the ABC 15 investigators found 31 Maricopa County cases kept open and pending, at least as long as Drenth's case, including 2 left open for more than a year.
That'd be unusual. It'd be unusual anywhere.
Keene says at some point the medical examiner can close a difficult case by labeling it undetermined.
Once we say it's undetermined, I have not been able to make up my mind in a definitive or provable way to settle on a particular cause or manner.
Since January 2010, the county closed nearly 200 cases with an undetermined label. In those cases, both the cause and the manner of death may never be known.
He's loved by so many people.
For the family of Sergeant Sean Drenth, never is not an option.
I personally think that somebody that he knew murdered him.
And this is the area where detectives have been searching, and they gathered evidence to help them figure out whether this really was a murder. This is the place where Sean Drenth was found dead, and if you take a look at it now, you can tell that it's a memorial for Sean Drenth. There's pictures here, there's flowers here, there's candles here. In the coming days, we're hoping to figure out where Sean Drenth was in the moments before coming to this secluded area and the night that he died. And then tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, we're going to be taking a look at some of the other open and pending death cases in Maricopa County, including the case of one woman that was left open for more than a year. I'm investigator Lori Jane Gliha, ABC 15 News.